this idea of, building professional capital of educators, um, that kind of gets them out of isolation and moving towards collective action, is a really big deal. I first heard Andy Hargraves and Michael Fullen talk about professional capital several years ago. And it just really struck me. I thought, this is what it's all about. And I think when you invest in people and you have a willingness to think creatively about how you can provide the space where teachers can work and collaborate together, you're going to have a much stronger system as a result. Because at the end of the day, where you've got teachers with real live human being children in their classes, there's so many nuances, I think, that take place. But if you have teacher teams working together in collaborative structures where they're able to say, hey, to their colleague, boy, I tried this and it didn't really go the way. What did you do? And then you have that kind of interaction where, they can solve the challenges that they're facing together. And again, we do that through those regular weekly professional development days. And so I think over the last many years, this idea of increasing transparency and supporting teachers and reinforcing with teachers that they need to build trust with their teacher grade level subject matter teams, and that we're going to have the instructional coach facilitate those conversations, which are completely absent of administrators. And that's been a key point for us, is really making sure that those instructional coaches that are working at each school are teachers and seen as teachers. And I'd worked for a superintendent that never went to schools, and then I'd worked for this superintendent who kind of made it a goal to get into every classroom. And so when I became superintendent 5 years ago, I continued with this practice. We invited our teacher association president and our classified association president to go along with us on these visits. And so we started doing that, like I say, about 3 years ago. And it was wonderful for the teacher association president to see, because it was the first time that they really got to see. It was the first time they really got to get into classrooms and see what their colleagues were really doing. And by the same token, it was wonderful for our support staff association president to also come, because when we do these visits, not only do we visit every classroom, we also go to the cafeteria, we see the custodians, we see all the office workers. But the point of the story is, the best ideas that I've seen have come from watching teachers and watching support staff do their job in classrooms with kids. And I've seen some of the most innovative things where I've just been blown away, and I've said, okay, it's now my responsibility to take this practice that I've just seen and see if I can scale it district-wide, because it's that good. And it's this kind of, I guess I would characterize it as very positive social engineering. You highlight and appreciate the things you'd like to see repeated within the system. And so we're constantly on the search for amazing teachers, amazing principals, amazing support staff. And when we see those things, we capture them, write a little story on it, or put a posting on one of our social media platforms. And that's what people begin to see. And I guess here's the part that it's my responsibility to say is, hey, if you're trying something new, you're not going to get in trouble for that. And that builds collaboration and teacher agency. And I think that also builds this collaborative culture. And it also reinforces that we acknowledge risk takers in the system.